Former President Donald Trump emerged from his Mar-a-Lago estate Monday to the cheers of supporters lining the streets. President Biden weighed in for the first time Monday.
It was able to capture some images as well as collect some signals.
I got some Bud Lights for us.
The dumbest story, I think, in American history, maybe not story, but the dumbest thing we've ever done in Trump being arrested. Bud Light has a new spokesman. Turns out the Chinese spy balloon spied, and you'll never guess what Nancy Pelosi said about Hillary Clinton's relationship with Vladimir Putin. All that and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go!
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is April 4th, Tuesday, the year of our Lord 2023. And everybody's talking about, as they should, because it's a huge story, quite possibly the dumbest thing we've done as a country. And I say that not lightly, knowing that there's other crazy dumb things that may borderline on like evil things. When I say dumb, I just mean flat out dumb. Not necessarily wrong, not necessarily bad, not evil, not this or that or this. I just mean stupid and dumb. And that is the monumentally stupid, freaking dumb arraignment of Donald Trump that's happening today. I was watching a bunch of the video from the streets of New York City and some of the commentary on it. It is dumb on every single conceivable level. It's dumb. Let's start off from the very freaking beginning. It's dumb that a porn star wanted to get on a reality TV show, so she slept with a billionaire. And then that billionaire was like, hey, I'm married with a young child. Both parties are in the wrong here. I'm going to give you hush money to keep quiet, which is not illegal. And then she didn't keep quiet, which puts us in this crazy position. And then the feds say, this is stupid, this isn't illegal. And it is difficult to point out that this is... The feds dropped the charges. Any of the charges, him paying the hush money, therefore decided that it was not, as a campaign, it benefited his campaign, and therefore the filing was wrong. That was stupid, that it was even there. And then now, in 2023, the newly elected DA of Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, says, no, wait, we can use this never-before-used theoretical legal strategy to then prosecute the billionaire who slept with the porn star who paid him hush money. We're going to prosecute that as a felony and therefore set in never-before-seen precedent of arresting a former president for that. Look, if it turns out, and I don't know, if it turns out that in Georgia, Donald Trump did threaten somebody with physical violence to change the votes, I'm fine. That's pretty dang bad. You should arrest the president for something crazy if it were to happen. However, this is just so incredibly stupid. And now the story around it, the media coverage of it, and I've got video here. I'll stop jabbering on about how stupid it is. This is just so... I didn't know we were this dumb of a nation on so many different sides. And all of the people... Okay, so your big intellectual lefty sides, your media types, all of them, I knew they were liars and dishonest. I didn't know they were this freaking dumb. And all of the people that the liberal, lefty, elitist media people called dumb turns out to be way smarter, because they were like, oh yeah, this is definitely politically motivated. 70% 70% of Americans think that this arrest is politically motivated, which is not the way that you want to run a society, arresting people based on politics. Anyways, watch this big CBS clip of just kind of the overlay of what's going on and see if you think this is as dumb as I think it is. Watch this.
Circus-like atmosphere.
Former President Donald Trump emerged from his Mar-a-Lago estate Monday to the cheers of supporters lining the streets as he began his journey to face an expected arraignment today.
We just want to keep his morale up. He's a strong man, strongest man I've known, and he's taken a lot of heat.
Trump boarded his private plane in West Palm Beach, Florida, bound for an unprecedented New York homecoming. He touched down at LaGuardia Airport and went straight to Trump Tower, where security has been on high alert amid this historic moment. A former president being criminally indicted, days after he called on his supporters to protest. President Biden weighed in for the first time Monday.
No, I have faith in the New York Police Department. Yes.
Around midday today, Trump is set to leave Trump Tower and head to the criminal court in Lower Manhattan to surrender. Trump would be fingerprinted. Then he's set to be arraigned at 2:15 p.m. The indictment remains sealed, but sources say Trump will likely be charged with falsifying business records in the first degree, which is a felony. This is in connection to the money allegedly used to silence porn star Stormy Daniels during his 2016 presidential run.
Unless I've completely misread the universe, you should not expect a guilty plea.
Attorney Jim Trusty represents Trump in two separate federal cases. He says he expects the Trump team to push to have the case dismissed.
I think that a lot of people, a lot of legal scholars and folks like myself are in agreement that there could be some very significant motions filed in short order. I mean, within days or weeks, not weeks or months.
Trump bolstered his legal team Monday by bringing on veteran criminal defense lawyer Todd Blanche. After Tuesday's court proceedings, Trump is expected to return to Florida, where he is set to deliver remarks in a ballroom event at Mar-a-Lago this evening.
District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who has been relentlessly criticized by Trump, will also speak out today, holding a news conference after the arraignment.
So that's pretty much everything that's going on. A couple of the crazy takes here. This is just nuts. I heard this perspective on the radio yesterday, but the fact that there are people lauding Stormy Daniels now is, well, I'm just so proud that a woman took down Donald Trump. Okay, so just so we're clear, you hate Donald Trump so much that you're excited that somebody who is in a very questionable career extorted a billionaire and slept with him to try and get on his TV show. That's fine. Morally, societally, culturally speaking, that's okay. But the billionaire paying her off is not? Again, I think both, in every sense, I think both sides are despicable in a lot of ways. Stormy Daniels' sides and the behavior of the president. But that's not my, I don't know, that's not how I live my life. So like, if they're two consenting adults and they both, I don't know what, I don't care. I genuinely don't care what they do. But in terms of like, as a person, yeah, like both parties are wrong in that instance. But at the same time, the lefty side of the media now saying, well, Stormy Daniels is a hero. Seriously? Like, why? Charlie Kirk, buddy of mine, put out something, or just took a couple moments to remind everybody of something. Let me pull it up so I can find it and get the wording right. The DNC / the Clinton campaign, this is from AP News, agreed to Steele dossier funding fine. Charlie said that Hillary Clinton paid the fake Steele dossier, causing years of national turmoil, the upheaval of Trump's first term in office, and appointed a special prosecutor, then quietly settled for a campaign finance violation with a $113,000 fine and was never arrested. Yeah, we're going to get into, like, consistency here. Like, look, if you're, again, where is this going to lead? Like, first things first, Ben Shapiro made this case and has been making this case many times. What do you think is going to happen next? Do you think that Trump's going to be the only person to be indicted or president to be indicted? No, Joe Biden will be indicted at some point for something. Like, it's just going to happen. I would be willing to bet that the indictment that inevitably and eventually comes down on Joe Biden will probably be more defendable than this. But at some point, Joe Biden will be arrested. So will Kamala Harris. Like, this is just, you've broken the seal here with something this incredibly stupid. Now, if it was the case that Trump, I don't know, killed a guy in the White House, which again, this clearly didn't happen. I'm just giving the most egregious hypothetical here. But if that happened, and he got arrested, that wouldn't have broken a precedent because, yeah, that's a huge crime. But the fact that you're arresting a former president over something this minuscule and this incredibly effing stupid, you're going to say, like, Joe Biden will be arrested, Kamala Harris will be indicted, and every future president from here on out, in my view, will be indicted of something, somewhere, at some point. Even posthumously. If Joe Biden dies before he's indicted, I guarantee you some judge somewhere, some DA is going to find something and tie it to Joe Biden when the party flips hands. That's what we're doing. That's why this is monumentally stupid. Here's some footage, and I'll look at some of the comments while this is playing, but this is just some of the footage outside of New York. The circus that is now this incredibly stupid, dumb, idiotic thing that we're doing. Watch this. It's just a media circus. It's a media circus freaking frenzy. This is just disheartening. Come on. A little more. To me. Here's what. We'll let that keep playing, but that's, yeah, all outside the courthouse. Let me get to some of the comments here. Mark on YouTube says that everybody is saying that this is politically driven. Yes, 70%. There was a poll. Is a Washington or Wall Street Journal poll? I'm not sure. But a big poll came out, I read the other day. 70% of Americans think that this indictment is politically motivated, which is literally the last thing that you want to do when you live in a free society. Here's this. I can't verify this actual specific number, but Jim says, where's the $850,000 payoff Bill Clinton sent to Paula Jones? Shouldn't that be investigated? I don't know, but honestly, I'm completely ignorant on that. There are many other things that I think President Clinton / Bush / Obama can potentially be indicted for. But yeah, this is just, we're now good. Freaking Obama is probably going to get indicted now at this point. Because okay, and I've said this before, and I hate to repeat myself, but I feel like I want to reiterate this. The insignificance of a campaign finance violation cannot be understated. Everybody I know, politicians, political candidates, campaign managers, people who run campaigns, anybody in the political world has sometime run afoul of the FEC in California, the FPPC, all of the elections regulations rules. Nobody knows them all, and therefore everybody makes mistakes. Whether it's intentional or not, everybody is paid a fine. Barack Obama's presidential campaign paid fines for campaign violations, finance violations. It is not an unusual thing to break campaign rules because there's so freaking many of them that nobody can keep track of them. And a lot of times, things are legal in this place and not legal in that place. And things are okay over here, but not over there. And so you end up paying campaign finance laws. So to arrest a president based on that is specifically politically driven, and 70% of America believes that. We talked about this yesterday. Karis says Soros is behind the corrupt DAs. You all need to know. I think everybody probably watching this show, and especially if you've been watching the last couple of days, know that, yes, there's a huge, what's it called, contingent of DAs that George Soros has funded around the country, whether directly or indirectly, because apparently that's a new thing in the media. We talked about it at length yesterday, so if you want to hear that, go watch there. So there's that. Ryan says 52% of CNN polls said it was political. Okay, even if it's a majority, even if it's a plurality of people saying it's political, it's not political, or I don't know, that's wild and nuts. And there's also some comments here in the comment section that I would love to get to, but I don't know what side of this you're coming at. Like this is just an example. Shut up and tell the truth. Stop gaslighting. Is that directed towards me, or is that directed towards all of the people that we were talking about? I don't know. I would love for you to let me know if that's, again, towards me or something else. I don't know. So what I'm getting at is here, a bunch of people in the comment section are always very vague, and I can't tell if they're like arguing or if they're arguing against the thing that I'm arguing against in support of what we're arguing. I don't know. Anyways, that's all that. I feel like we're going to be talking about this the rest of the week because of how idiotic this is. So we'll leave that there. Let's get to this really quick. This is we're not going to spend a ton of time on this. We're just going to. Comedian Nancy Pelosi cracked a hilarious joke, so I wanted to bring this here. Nancy Pelosi is flexing her comedy bone as she decided to make some statements on Hillary Clinton and who in the world is most afraid of Hillary Clinton. Anybody who's run afoul of the Clinton Foundation, probably the first one up there. But after that, it's a guy that you all know all too well, or it's a person who you've heard of all too much. Watch this clip and try to hold it together with the laughter. Check this out.
When Secretary Clinton was in the Senate and First Lady, but especially as Secretary of State in more recent time, she has been, and at that time implemented many things showing America's support for democracy. It was her clarity in position to the President Putin, President occupant, leader of Russia, that made him turn around and ensure, in a illegal way, come out against her in her campaign. An interference in our democracy by Vladimir Putin, because Hillary Clinton was the person he feared most in terms of his lack of democracy in Russia. That's, I think, self-evident. So thank you for what you have done.
I couldn't do it. I laughed. Hillary Clinton is the person that Vladimir Putin feared the most. So just, I want to touch on, look, I know we're jumping ship to Russia and Hillary Clinton and Trump and all that sort of stuff, but I want to remind everybody about this idea of Russian warfare. Warfare might not be the best word, but it's called compromat. And what it is this Russian strategy around manipulating things in a way that causes chaos, not necessarily a particular outcome. What Nancy is saying, and what Hillary Clinton has been saying since she lost, was, well, Vladimir Putin didn't want me in charge because he was scared of me, or Vladimir Putin and anybody who interfered in our elections didn't want me in charge because of how tough I would be on them. Hate to break it to you, Hills and Nancy, it is not the case at all. There was, now, the terminology here is so ridiculous, meddling in the elections. There were ads that were run on social media platforms by foreign adversaries. Yes. But to say that they were trying to cause a specific outcome in terms of who won the presidential race is ridiculous But I guess you can see it that way if you don't understand what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is cause chaos. So if you were trying to cause chaos from to a foreign adversary, if I were Russia, if I were Putin, if I were the definitely non-existent KGB, I would run ads for the underdog, whoever was losing this race, just to see if I can make things more divisive, cause a little bit more chaos. It has nothing to do with who they quote unquote wanted to win, and everything to do with we want our enemies and the people that live in the country that is our enemy to be so divided and frazzled that we get a leg up. That's the goal. There was no move, in my view, at least, that Putin wanted Donald Trump to win. He just wanted to stir the pot. He just wanted to cause chaos. And if you want to layer things on top of that, Putin didn't invade a neighboring country when Donald Trump was in office. So there's that. Again, we'll never actually know because nobody's in the mind of Vladimir Putin, but that makes the most sense. So to say that the Russians interfered, and again, the verbiage here is sticky, the Russians meddled in or ran ads in our political elections so that Hillary Clinton would lose is ridiculous. They did it so that there would be chaos in the United States, which there has been. And pretending that it was solely because they were so scared of Hillary Clinton is hilarious. And I wish it weren't, but it is. So there's that. Shoot, gosh dang, got to get to this before we get to the Bud Light thing. Maybe we'll save the Bud Light thing for later. All right, here we go. Turns out, and this is going to be a shock to a lot of you, the Chinese spy balloon was actually spying on the U.S. I know. This is huge, groundbreaking information. But remember when Joe Biden said this back in February?
Because we knew its path, we were able to protect sensitive sites against collection. We waited until it was safely over water, which would not only protect civilians, but also enable us to recover substantial components for further analytics. And then we shot it down.
So he said, well, since we knew the trajectory, we knew that it was going to be over these protected areas. So they didn't get any information. Excuse me. But now, over the weekend, we have some new information on the Chinese spy balloon. Watch this.
When this Chinese spy balloon was kind of transiting across the United States back in February, it was able to capture some images as well as collect some signals intelligence from some sensitive U.S. military installations. Now, U.S. intelligence officials are not overly concerned because they say that this was not much more than what a regular Chinese satellite that is constantly orbiting above these same sites could potentially collect. But at the same time, we are learning that this Chinese spy balloon actually was able to transmit this data back in real time to the Chinese government, and that the Chinese government had the capability to remotely erase the data that the Chinese spy balloon was collecting. So that raises questions about whether the U.S. government actually knows the full extent of what the balloon was able to gather, because obviously now the U.S. government has been analyzing it in an FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia, and they have some sense of what the balloon was able to gather, but the possibility remains that there is much more that it was able to collect that the U.S. simply doesn't know about because Beijing was able to remotely erase it.
I think that probably speaks for itself. I probably don't need any commentary there. I do love the sarcasm in the comment section. Karen says, weird, a spy balloon was spying? Yeah, Karen, that just baffles me. I was told that it's fine. Just let it drift across the entire country and over various places that we don't want people getting information from. But yeah, this is just a bizarre turn of events. I would have never have guessed that the Chinese spy balloon was in fact spying. But who knows? Maybe, I don't know. All right, we'll end on this note. Bud Light has a new face. They have a new spokesperson in Dylan Mulvaney. If you don't know Dylan Mulvaney's act, he is a dude masquerading as a woman. And oddly enough, like a weird, like 1940s/50s Aubrey Hepburn woman. Not like I don't know, not that's fine. If women want to dress like that, that's fine. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily culturally relevant at the moment. The modern woman doesn't really look anything like the charade that Dylan Mulvaney is pulling. But anyways, for some reason, Bud Light decided to make Dylan Mulvaney a spokesperson and gave him a bunch of beer and a bunch of money and said, hey, go ahead and make some ads/videos for us. And that's exactly what Dylan did. Watch this, and then we can discuss all of the variables after that.
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us. So, I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate. This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. Check out my Instagram story to see how you can enjoy March Madness with Bud Light and maybe win some money too. Love ya! Cheers! Go team! Whatever team you love, I love too. Okay. Love ya. Okay, break a leg. Woo!
What woman do you know that wears the long dining gloves? I don't know. I know quite a few women. Never seen that before. So the costume being portrayed by Dylan is an interesting choice there. Now, obviously, we can go to the whole know your audience Bud Light. Yeah, the NASCAR fans that are stocking up on Bud Light before the race, I don't think are out in the streets clamoring for more of whatever this is. So yeah, I don't quite understand what the angle is. If I were to get a little, maybe, I don't know, conspiratorial is not the right word, but get really into the weeds, the whole ESG thing, maybe they're just trying to boost their ESG score to unlock some access to financing from your big banks/private equity funds. Maybe they're doing something of that. But also maybe it is that Bud Light/Anheuser-Busch knows that they've got 40% of the beer market in the United States. They have the biggest percentage, the plurality of it. Coors has about 20% of the market, and then everybody else has between 30 and 35%. So maybe they know that people probably aren't going to leave. Which I would then say to all of the people that are disturbed by this sort of thing, you got to do your homework. You got to do your homework at this point. If you want to make a stand and you want to make a case for companies to stop doing stuff like this, you're going to have to figure out what Anheuser-Busch owns and intentionally go a different direction. I think they also own like big brands like Stella. I don't know. They have a ton of water rights around the country. They're a huge business. So if you actually want to make it hurt for them, you're going to have to do your homework and make sure you're making it hurt. Now, the other interesting/fun component of this is this, when we're talking about adult beverages, Bud Light is an adult beverage. The CDC recommends that people limit their alcohol intake to 1 drink a day for women and 2 drinks for men. So I am curious which of those guidelines that Dylan is abiding by, or which one made it onto the commemorative Dylan can. Just a thought, just curious. Maybe the CDC is a bunch of bigots, or maybe there's some biological, anatomical differences between men and women. I don't know. Just a thought. I have no idea. So there's that. I'm exhausted today by how dumb this whole Trump thing is. Obviously, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. But yeah, all the arraignments happening in like an hour and a half. Maybe the Daily Caller page will carry some of that stuff live, but I'm not sure. There's not cameras inside the courtroom. There will be still images coming out, I think. Yeah. All that being said, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll bring you any of the Trump stuff tomorrow in the morning, same time, same place. Any other announcements? If you live in California, Silicon Valley area, I will be in San Jose tomorrow. If you want tickets to that event, it's a free event on the Made in America tour with Turning Point USA. Go to tpusa.com/Made in America or send me a message on any of your social media platforms, and I'll get back to you and give you some of the information for that event. I will be in San Jose tomorrow, and it's just me too. It's not Charlie, not Candace, which is unfortunate, but I also get more time to talk, so it'll be fun. So yeah, if you live in that area, in that neck of the woods, would love to see you at those events. tpusa.com/Made in America. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media platforms. You can also message me there to find out how you get tickets and where the event is being held. Just type in JOBOB pretty much anywhere, you'll be able to find me. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Hopefully nothing crazy happens. We're all hoping and praying for peace on all sides of the aisle in all parts of the country. See you tomorrow. God bless America.